It's been a while since I've been on, but I just wanted to jump on and I wanted to do a quick biscuit video. This is a follow-up to the recipe I posted a few weeks back on my Facebook page. If you didn't see it, I encourage you to go look at it, but it's got the recipe, the instructions, but I wanted to go over some of the details on biscuit making. So this might be a little bit longer video than I normally do, but I think that's okay if you're learning, right? This is going to be a learning video, I believe. And so what I want to talk about is biscuits, and biscuits are what we call a quick rise bread. They have baking powder in them, which when it reacts to your buttermilk or your cream that you put into them, that reaction with that acid causes a rise. It causes a reaction in your baking powder, which causes a rise in your biscuits. So we are going to make this new biscuit recipe that I had put on my Facebook page, and I'm just going to talk about about biscuits and about this all things biscuits. I love biscuits. I don't know if you do or not, but I love them. And this recipe, you can freeze the biscuits, pull them out 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 10 at a time, whatever you want to do, and put them in your oven, and you have biscuits for dinner, you have biscuits for breakfast, biscuits for lunch, or just a biscuit for a snack. So this recipe calls for 326 grams of flour, and this is all-purpose flour, or you can use cake flour in this recipe also. The trick to making biscuits and making tender, flaky biscuits, there's several things. The butter in them is one of the tricks, but the flour that you put in them and not developing the gluten, the protein in that flour will make a very tender biscuit. And unlike bread, where bread you mix with yeast and it takes longer to rise, and you have to knead it to develop the gluten in it to hold those strands, those bread strands together to create that protein that causes that bread to rise. Biscuits don't work that way. You want a tender biscuit, so you don't want to overwork the gluten in those biscuits. So the minimum amount of work that you do on the biscuit, like a cake, the more tender it will be. So we're going to start off with our flour. Let me see if I can make this where you can see.